Welcome to a special 2-round NFL mock draft. I have my friend Alex here with me. Go ahead, introduce yourself to the people, Alex.
What's up? If you guys like this content, my show is Hail Mary Sports, also on YouTube. We just breached 5,000 not too long ago. We just breached 6,000 very soon. So it would be awesome for you guys to join. Again, if you like content like this, mock drafts are plentiful and would love for you guys to join.
Very nice. And what's crack-a-lackin'? You should already know who I am at this point. I am Broshmo. But just in case you didn't know so, I am Broshmo. Go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let us know what you think in the comment section below. We love having that nice, beautiful football discourse. And I'm sure you're going to disagree with some of these picks, and that's A-okay. I think it's safe to say there's no real right or wrong picks. There's just, there's good picks and there's bad picks.
True.
But let's go ahead, get into this sucker. We'll be alternating picks, and, well, we have some stuff happening at pick one. Isn't that right?
We do. So we've come to the agreement before this that we want to negotiate a trade. And based on the fact that there are some very strong ties to Indianapolis, the Bears are going to be making a move with Indy. So Indy can jump their in-division rival, the Houston Texans, to secure the quarterback of their choosing. And the compensation for this was negotiated, but again, it's not really going to affect this mock draft. It's a 1 this year, a 1 next year, a number 2 next year, and then a number 3 this year. So you can complain about the details, but honestly, in terms of this mock draft, it's not really going to be affecting it. So we're just going to go on with that. And with the number 1 overall pick, since I am taking the number 1 pick, because I also agreed that, well, we understood I would screw it up if I took the number 2 pick because I would not be taking a QB there. We're going to be taking Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young should be the number 1 QB. I personally would love to stick at 4 and go with CJ Stroud, but it seems to be a very, very, very strong inclination that the Colts would want to jump their in-division rivals. And Bryce Young has the best processor in the class. He's been able to uplift talent around him. There's a lot of translatable tape. And he's just somebody where he's truly special. So get your guy there, be able to build the offensive lineup just a little bit more. You're probably a piece away, and you'll be able to win a lot in no time.
Oh, man, you're so long-winded, my friend. Because with this Houston Texans pick, I don't need to say a lot. The Texans need a quarterback. Yeah, it sucks. Bryce Young's not on the board. The only hard part about this is which quarterback. Do I want to go with the high-end tools of Will Levis, or do I want to go with a much safer prospect with CJ Stroud? And you know what? I went into the safe arms of CJ Stroud. He cuddled me. He said everything's going to be all right. But I don't know, man. Sometimes when the pressure's on, I don't feel like it's going to be all right. But we're still going to go with CJ Stroud here.
CJ just has a really good supporting cast. It's very hard to replicate at the next level. But number 3, this is an easy one for
Houston.
me. Yes,
not early on, at least.
Yeah, let's hope. But number 3, Jalen Carter still on the board. Defensive interior is not alleviated yet for the Cardinals. So get it fixed up. Get Jalen Carter. Take your shot on somebody who could be truly special.
Yeah, Chicago Bears, basically. I think the Colts are a good trade partner because it still enables the Bears to get one of these 2 blue chip best non-quarterback prospects in this class. So I will take whoever the Cardinals do not take. In this case, it's Will Anderson. So you get that mean, feverish pass rush.
For the record, I would have taken Jalen Carter at 2, even though it sounds insane. But number 5, it is a little insane. At number 5, you have the Seahawks. And as much as I would love to trade down in this, we didn't want to make it a trade bonanza. Decided to stick to my guns. I know, we'd be here literally all day. Decided to go Myles Murphy. Somebody who's super consistent, good against the run, and he is developing as a pass rusher, a fairly solid athlete. Just someone that is going to do a damn good job.
The nerve of this guy.
I know, right?
So, Detroit Lions, Will Levis is on the board, but I'm not going to take him. Don't worry. This is kind of weird because it would have been nice if, Carter, Anderson, even Murphy were to fall here.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta imagine this might be a fun trade down spot for the Lions, for a team that wants to get that QB3 in this class, whether it be maybe the Raiders, even if it's just one spot, it means the Panthers don't do it. However, we're not doing that. We're not trading down. We only did that one trade, as far as you know. But we're going to go, or at least I'm going to go with Christian Gonzalez. Dude made Bruce from its freaks list. They need some help at the corner position. Someone across from Jeffrey Okuda, and we're going to make that Gonzalez. I think he showed good ball skills during the second half of the season.
So number 7, the Raiders. I think cornerback is another position that is pretty paramount for this team. I don't think Will Levis fits a Josh McDaniels system. We've seen it before. You look at Derek Carr. He's not a bad quarterback, just does not fit that style. We see guys like Jimmy G do it well, Tom Brady do it well, and I'm sure Brock Purdy would be of that similar mold. Mac Jones has also had success there. So for me, I'm not going to take a swing on someone like that. I think it's a disgrace to both Will Levis as well as the McDaniels system. So I am going to go after Joey Porter Jr., my number 3 player in the class. Really good against the run, really gritty, and maybe a DPI machine, but that's kind of Sauce's nickname right now, and I think that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, and if anything, I always feel like it's better to have that physical like mentality into it. It's easier to teach someone to be less physical than it is to teach someone to be more physical. Typically, if it's not in your nature, good luck trying to get it in your nature.
True.
All right, so no Jared Verse in this draft class. That sucks. Guess I'm going Tyree Wilson for the Atlanta Falcons. A good run stuffer. I imagine the defense doesn't change too much with Dean Pease now gone. And Tyree Wilson's going to test out well, so he's that next guy up with Verse gone. Personally, I did have Jared Verse ahead of Tyree Wilson.
I love Jared Verse, man. It's a shame that he's not coming out.
Me too.
Number 9, I know. Number 9, quarterback definitely is on the mind. Will Levis has a lot of potential, but I honestly just don't think you need to be spending the number 9 pick on someone who it doesn't feel like he's going to be a good fit there. I think cornerback still could be a position that you do address. Cam Smith, you're going back to South Carolina. I think it's a damn good fit, and he's a damn good player. So at least you're building your team and making it better, regardless of whether it's with a quarterback or not.
So you went quarterback Cam Smith?
Yes, Cam Smith. Now, South Carolina.
Yeah. Not quarterback, excuse me.
Corner. Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Panthers really kind of like screw the pooch, especially if they don't love Will Levis, then it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
All right, Philadelphia Eagles. With this one, I'm just going to address the interior. I know a lot of people are 50-50 on Brian Brazee. I'm not. I think he's going to be a top 10, top 15 guy in this class. I think he's going to test out great, and I think he's going to look great next to Jordan Davis.
He's number 78 on my board, but for reasons. Number 11. So
Isaiah McGuire is on my board. How about that?
I know. We'll talk about that when that comes up. If Josh Dobbs is actually getting a start over Malik Willis when you know you're going to lose, that should show you the confidence in Malik Willis. And let's just say probably not that high. And Will Levis feels a little bit more of that Ryan Tannehill mold, a little bit more of that Carson Wentz mold. And I feel like that would fit a lot better. You're at least taking a shot on a new QB in the system. I'm pretty sure the other two teams just drafted a quarterback in your own division. You need to make sure you're not falling behind in that regard. So getting Will Levis seems to be the move.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. So I'm going to get our new quarterback, CJ Stroud, some security with Quentin Johnston. Absolutely love Quentin Johnston, prototypical ex-wide receiver size. Think he could also, he's just tough to bring down after the catch. Very good competitor at the catch point. Love this dude.
Very good player. The Jets, I wanted to kind of give a middle finger to Bill Belichick, and that is taking away a Georgia tackle from replacing his Georgia tackle. Broderick Jones is an absolute stud. He's going to be a day one starter for him and is going to be able to kick ass there for the next 5 to 10 years.
I just want to hurt Bill Belichick's feelings.
Dude, if you're the Jets, that's kind of your MO.
Yeah, right. And I mean, it fits the MO of like Joe Douglas and his love with the trenches.
True.
All right, so I'm gonna go with being the Patriots here. I really wanted in my heart to go Jordan Addison, but I think with Trent Brown just kind of like, never healthy like for a full season, and Isaiah Wynn going to free agency, let's just go ahead and get some tackle help. Paris Johnson he's kind of weird. Like, I want to say he's the top tackle on my board, but I just love Peter Skoronski in general as a player. But if I was like, no, I need a tackle, I'd probably go Johnson over Skoronski. Maybe even Jones over Skoronski.
Fair. For the Packers, I wanted to go offensive line here, but honestly, I realized that Adrian Amos is going to be gone, and I want to continue developing the defense at a super high level. This team has done a very good job in the later rounds, as of last year with Zach Tom being able to snipe really good talent. And Brian Branch is just too good to pass on. Just a super athletic, high upside slot corner / safety hybrid.
I freaking love Brian Branch. I really do.
So good. So good.
I think easy top 20 player. All right. So Washington football team. I don't care if freaking Fuller had a pick six yesterday. Dak's been giving pick sixes to everybody this year. Just ask the Jags. You still need quarterback help. I'm gonna do that with Devon Witherspoon.
Devon. Yeah, Devon's a good player. I like Devon.
14
Steelers.
pass breakups this year for him.
That is really impressive. That's like really impressive. Steelers, there's a multitude of routes you can go here. Keely Ringo's still on the board. Definitely somebody you can at least consider for it. You can also consider Jordan Addison, pairing him back up with Kenny Pickett, Jordan Addison got the Blitnikoff Award because of that connection. But Peter Skoronski is still here. My issue with him is his arm length. He never makes initial contact. That's very dangerous. But if you can teach him how to manage the T-Rex arms, then definitely somebody where he's going to be a very, very good starter at tackle. But the best thing is we need help at guard too. So he's going to actually be an impactful player regardless. No pun intended with the guard part, but a very good player nonetheless.
All right, so we got to this Detroit pick, and I was like, man, now I remember why I take Brian Bresee for the first Detroit pick, because I'll be staring down at least one of those corners, which I am with Keely Ringo, but I didn't do that. Now I have Christian Gonzalez, so I had to look at other options. I talked about Michael Mayer. You talked me out of it. I thought it was a good pick. You said you're going to get burnt at the stake, and I was like, okay, fair enough. I'm going to end up going with Bijan Robinson here. He's going inside the top 20. Where that may be, I don't know. Let's experiment with some different teams. Detroit Lions, it's your time.
I'm very happy I convinced you into that. But Keely Ringo's still on the board. No need to second guess it there for Tampa Bay. Just take him, forget him. It's such a good fit.
I like it. Short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
All right. So I'm taking Anthony Richardson for the Seahawks here. I initially don't like the idea of like, okay, this is a quarterback they're going to have to develop for poor old Pete Carroll, who's young at heart, but old in actual age.
Old in number.
Yeah, old in number. But I like, honestly, even like, you could develop this guy a couple of years under Geno, even if Pete Carroll does want to move on. Maybe you make a in-house hire to promote as head coach who dealt with the development of Richardson. Regardless, this is kind of a lottery ticket, and this is a hell of a good lottery ticket. Like, sky do be the limit when it comes to AR.
AR is a good player. Pick number 21 for the Jaguars. I know offensive line is a position you should be at least considering, and the guards, I'm not as confident of their abilities as I am the tackle class. And Anton Harrison's here, and I know he can play guard because of the fact he's under 6'6". He's a 6'5" guard, or he's a 6'5" tackle. He has reps at right tackle as well. So I know he has that right-left versatility, but again, he is not Blake Freeland at 6'8", where you can't put him at guard in the short run. So going to make an immediate impact wherever he goes, and making sure Trevor Lawrence is protected, never a bad decision.
All right, New York Giants. Almost said the Jets. Easy pick. Jordan Addison. You need receivers. Jordan Addison is, in fact, a receiver. I don't care how good Kenny Galladay looked. Freaking one-hand tutty catch.
Yeah.
But I think he had 2 receptions on 7 targets, which it's like, I don't know. You're going to cut that contract out, and you're going to feel a lot better about it. Jordan Addison, he is going to help.
Yep. Continuing the receiver trend, Jackson Smith and Jigba's on the board. Really good blocker, really good hands, and he's going to be able to do well in space. So really like that for the Ravens, giving hopefully Lamar a very nice target.
Fingers crossed. All right, so this is where Michael Mayer goes off the board here at the Chargers. Gerald Everett, he's fine, but dude really lost gas as the year came to a close. So if I there maybe a more long-term option, I don't really like any of the receivers personally for the Chargers at this point. But yeah, Michael Mayer, he still enables you to surround Herbert while he's still on that rookie contract with talent.
Cowboys, you guys need to get a boundary corner. Jalen Jones is right down the road, and he's somebody where you probably haven't heard of him because he's never targeted. So he's one of the most locked down corners. His only issue might be a little bit of athleticism, but my goodness, is he absolutely smart, knows exactly what's going on at all times, good against the run, good against the press, great frame as well.
Very nice. Bengals. Oh, man, your tackles, rough. Jonah Williams, man, that dude, you think he's going to hold TJ Watt and Myles Garrett down? No, he's not. He's not. He is, I would say Jonah Williams is an above average tackle who, when faced against top 10, top 15 edge rushers, gets smoked. And then you have La'el Collins, who didn't look the same after returning from injury when he was with Dallas, and now he's hurt again. So tackle's kind of rough. We're going to go ahead, grab Darnell Wright.
Yep.
Come in there, play one of the tackle spots.
One of.
Yeah.
Number 27 for the Vikings. There we go. I think getting an extra weapon, adding a little more explosiveness to the offense, never a bad idea. Jalen Hyatt is an amazing partner to Justin Jefferson. So being able to get even more ability to stretch the field, never a bad thing, especially when Adam Thielen's getting older.
All right. So I will talk about this trade now. The Saints, they're taking the Broncos pick because, well, Denver sounds like they may be interested in Sean Payton. You did bring it up when we were talking about this. Not a lot of teams have fired their head coach yet. So, of course, the Broncos are the only one team reaching out. But could be a likelihood for a team that has already, for the Denver Broncos, who are very complete as a team. And it just seems like maybe it's play calling, maybe it's coaching. We need someone that can get
Russ cooking.
Russ at least prepping. If not cooking. So maybe Sean Payton. Maybe Sean Payton returns as a head coach. So we're just going to play with. That's our only other trade in this mock, by the way. So we got New Orleans picking here. And I'm going to go ahead and, you know what? The pass rush wasn't nearly as good as it was last couple of seasons. Marcus Davenport, I think, is a free agent this year. And
he also had a half a sack.
Yeah. Well, he was hurt. Cam Jordan had, I think this was his worst season since his rookie year. Don't quote me on that.
Really?
That's what I've heard.
No, I remember hearing that. That does sound familiar.
Yeah, so I'm gonna grab Lucas Van Ness, get you a Trey Hendrickson type.
Yeah. I'm not that high on Lucas Van Ness, but does seem to fit the mold of what the Saints go after.
I think in terms he's got a high ceiling. He does need some polish, but it's there.
For me at 29, if there is one of these slot corner / safety hybrids available, I'm going to be going with them. So whether that is going to be Brian Branch, very unlikely, or Antonio Johnson, that's going to be my pick. Just somebody, because again, those safeties, both of them are up for contract. Most likely, not both of them are going to return. And it's great value for a Swiss Army knife in Antonio Johnson.
All right, for the Chiefs, I firmly want to go defense here. I really do. I mean, tackle could be a thought, but we kind of like took like guys like Anton Harrison and Darnell Wright are kind of like those next tackles up for me. So it was like, I don't really like one at this value. There was really not an edge rusher that I think is a good fit for Spagnola's defense. And I was like, you know what? Siaki Ika is kind of a someone I would pencil here normally. Let's get a fresh face. Matter of fact, I think Mozzie Smith was a guy I was close to putting ahead of Siaki Ika. So we get a fresh face in the first round here in Mozzie Smith. And hopefully
he doesn't return.
Yeah. We're recording this.
Quorum.
Yeah, I know. We're recording this Monday. You'll see this Tuesday. So
fingers crossed. Fingers crossed he doesn't make the same decision.
Same
Eli
mistake,
Ricks.
right.
I know. So corner with James Bradbury, not secure for the future. Corners are extremely expensive. Eli Ricks is still on the board. And I mean, his talent is through the roof. We don't know exactly where he's going to go, but I think he'd be a very good scheme fit for the Eagles. And it's a much cheaper option than paying 17 plus a year to Bradbury.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we're going to start off the second round with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm going to go with Trenton Simpson to kind of fill in for, I assume you're not bringing back Devin Bush. So he will be.
Hopefully not.
So you're going to get a guy who's very good out in space, which that's something he has going for him that Devin Bush did not. But I think he also brings a good blitzing aspect to him. He could shoot A gaps, B gaps. He could win on the outside. So big fan of Simpson.
Yeah, that's a fun option. So the linebacker with Christian Harris was awesome last year for the Texans. I loved that pick. And he's a super high upside guy, and he's actually been making some pretty damn awesome plays. So being able to add to that linebacking core, never a bad thing. Drew Sanders is on the board. He's a former rusher for Alabama, dropped 20 pounds, went to linebacker, and played a very, very, very good, he did a very good job this year, considering that was, I think, the first time he played it since high school. So love him to death. Yeah, love him to death.
All right. So with the Arizona Cardinals, you went Jalen Carter. And you know what? I think Georgia players are just good. This team needs pass rush. There wasn't a corner that I was in love with at this pick. So we're going to get pass rush. I'm going to go with Nolan Smith. I don't know if he's going to be able to perform because of the torn pec at a pro day or a combine. But you're getting a very high-end athlete who, despite the size, is actually a very good run defender.
Yeah, and I mentioned this earlier. I said, Bryce Young, you kind of need to just fit one more piece on that offensive line, and we're going to do so right here with Osiris Torrance. We're going to move in, say, Will Fries, you're never touching the field again. Yep. Osiris Torrance, super high upside. He's going to come in immediately and upgrade that offensive line, both in the run as well as the pass.
You're out of here.
Yeah.
All right. So actually on here, it has the Rams pick next. So you want to go ahead? Yeah, so you want to go ahead and just do the Rams pick, and I'll take Seattle?
I'll just go for the Rams, yeah. Rams offered 2 firsts and a second for Brian Burns, showing that they definitely are looking to upgrade at edge rusher. B.J. Ojulari's on the I know, right? B.J. Ojulari's on the board, and maybe he's not a Brian Burns, but in the second round, he's certainly a much better deal. So damn good player, totally worth it.
All right, Seattle Seahawks. You need a big, meaty boy up front, a space eater, because the run, at least the run defense, isn't all that great. We already took Miles Murphy. We took a quarterback of the future, hopefully. So I'm just gonna continue to add to that defense that needs some help. Again, corner was a thought, but there wasn't a guy that I really liked here. I didn't think Emmanuel Forbes was actually a good scheme fit. I could have been talked back into him, though. But I'm going with Siaki Ika. I'm going with the big, nasty space eater.
There you go. Are you still on the board with the Raiders?
Yep. Wait, was that me?
That's you.
Oh,
yeah,
of course.
Remember, I did double. Yeah, I did double.
Yeah, that's right. Well, of course, only I would select Tanner McKee
No.
for the Raiders. Listen, Tanner McKee, I think, has an NFL arm. He's certainly got prototypical size. Yeah, he's not a great athlete. He wasn't working with a lot there at Stanford, but I think he's a guy that at least knows how to fit it into tight windows because his receivers didn't give him windows at frickin' Stanford. So this is hopefully quarterback of the future. If anything, it's a second-round pick. It just kind of burnt.
Fair. Also, the type of quarterback that works in the McDaniel system. So it makes sense. Pick number 39 for the Falcons, correct?
This one I actually have for the Panthers.
Oh my goodness.
Here,
You're back again.
I will just like lead to who's the next pick, and then
Okay.
and then we'll go from there. Panthers, I went with Josh Downs. I wanted to get another receiving threat. There wasn't a guy with great size here outside of Kayshon Boutte, but apparently he's got his own worries right now. So, honestly, like, people might be saying Hendon Hooker at this pick, but, like, I think I won't touch him till early day 3 at the very least. Maybe even back end of day 2, but I'm talking back end. Because, like, he's a guy that's not... He's not even going to play his rookie season, you know? So, New Orleans Saints on the clock.
They're on the clock. So, Tommy Eichenberg is my linebacker 1, somebody who came out of nowhere, just somebody you don't really expect to be that good. But when you watch him play, I mean, he pops off on game tape, but you don't realize the down-to-down processing that this guy has. He's so consistent. Again, you have Pete Werner there already. Demario Davis is getting old, so getting somebody who can be another commander of that defense, never a bad thing.
All right, the Tennessee Titans, I got you that offensive line help, especially for your new quarterback. I went with Cody Mock, a guy that could play, I think, potentially left tackle, and if he ends up not being a good tackle, he's going to be a really good guard or center in the NFL, so he could play that left guard spot, because honestly, the whole left line of the Tennessee offensive line is dog water. So Cody Mock here, and then we got the Cleveland Browns on the board.
Where are the Falcons at?
They're at 44.
What on earth? Okay, sure. So the Browns, Felix Anudike-Uzomah is on the board. You're still looking to fulfill that edge rusher position full time, and he's really damn balanced between the run as well as the pass rush. Somebody who I have a lot of respect for. My number 13 player on my board right now, and definitely going to come in, solve an issue, and he's going to have a great partner there in Myles Garrett.
All right. So I got the New York Jets here. So I guess all these teams have the same record.
Yeah, I think that's the case. That's the case.
Yeah. So I went with a safety because I like the idea of Brian Branch in the first round, but I get why people don't love it. But we're here on day 2. I'm going to go with my boy Jamie Robinson out of Florida State. Mean hitter, very physical, 5'11", 203, 206. He was just a playmaker. Honestly, might end up being the Jalen Pitre type of riser this year. Should have mentioned that earlier when we were talking about him too.
Yeah. No, Jalen Pitre was insane for me.
Dude, he was great. Atlanta Falcons, by the way.
Yeah, finally. Atlanta's on the board. Garrett Williams is still here. And, I know corner is not necessarily the number one need for this team. We already got pass rush. That's kind of the biggie. And defensive interior, you can debate whether there's actually guys of value here. The majority of the ones that I really like decided to head home or head back home. So I wanted to get the best value here. Garrett Williams tore his ACL. He was a top 15 player for me coming out before that. And now you have an elite level player who has time to come back from that injury because he also has a great mentor there in Casey Hayward for one more year, as well as not to mention AJ Terrell.
All right, Green Bay Packers. I'm going to get that tight end since Robert Tonyan is a free agent. I'm going to go with Dalton Kincaid. I'm a big fan of Kincaid. Absolutely love this cat. I think he's got legit ball skills. He's actually a former receiver back at the University of San Diego. Not San Diego State, San Diego. So, went with that there. You, I believe, had the Patriots.
I did have the Patriots. DB is something Bill Belichick knows how to develop, and there's a man who's 6 foot, 212 pounds, will probably run a 4.4, and displays incredible man-to-man ability. His name's Tyreek Stevenson, and he's also really good in press. someone who has a ton of potential. Yep, there you go. Go for the U. Somebody who I have a lot of respect for, and he was a first rounder for me starting the year. Definitely someone who could be worth it if he's in the right situation.
All right. Tell us about the Washington Commanders.
Yes. Offensive line to me would have been the way I went in round one, but we're very fortunate to see someone of the caliber of Andrew Voorhees, a seasoned veteran, fall to this point. He does have tackle versatility, but he's also very well seasoned as the interior offensive line, which will always be a great help.
How about the Detroit Lions, my friend?
Oh my goodness. We went back to back to back. Jack Campbell still on the board. I know that Noah Sewell is somebody who, like, obviously you have that brother-to-brother connection, but I just don't think that he played well enough to warrant a legitimate starting position. And if you want to draft Noah Sewell in the third or the fourth, go ahead for it. But if you want someone who can actually start, Jack Campbell's a great leader as well. Definitely someone who will come in and galvanize the locker room.
All right, so the Pittsburgh Steelers still need a corner, right? Still need a corner. Clark Phillips, I really think, like we saw with the Asante Samuel Jr., how his stock kind of fell because of his size. I think probably a similar thing will happen with Clark Phillips. But at this point, he's just really good value. Dude had 2 pick sixes, literally consecutive games this season. So pretty darn solid.
Love it.
The Kansas City Chiefs are not on the board, man.
Gojo's coming in early, man.
Dude, right? Golly. All right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I went with those Isaiah Foskey.
One of the two.
One of the two. The pass rush wasn't good, especially even before Shaq Barrett got hurt. Like, he was really their only means of pass rush. So maybe that gets better. Maybe Joe Tryon or maybe Logan Hall emerge. But until then, just keep swinging for the position. So I'm going to go with Foskey, who's a very high floor. There we go, prospect.
There you go.
All right, and then we got the Jacksonville Jaguars, who I just grabbed more cornerback help for with Emmanuel Forbes, man. Forbes feels too good to fall like this, but there are some concerns with maybe his first scheme versatility. He's been a guy that's played in an exceptionally zone-heavy offense or defense there for Mississippi State. But, I mean, he has the most pick sixes in college football, or at least the FBS, so... Like, this guy can only fall so far, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Now, tell me about my Miami Dolphins, will you?
So I thought about this as a really fun pick, and I might as well swing for the fences. And there's somebody who's 6'7", 270 pounds, essentially an offensive tackle for a team that might be looking for a right tackle. Just pretty much attach Darnell Washington to the side of the offensive line and then just go from there. He's an elite weapon, an elite blocker, able to stuff up most of the edges in the class. So, yeah, somebody who's really going to be a pretty fun X factor there in Miami.
Dude, yeah. No, I mean, I'll take all the tackle help we can get, even if that means he's a tight end. Like,
yep.
Bring it up. So, the Seattle Seahawks.
Seattle Seahawks. That's me.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second. So there's still an amazing offensive lineman on the board. I want to continue helping out Kenneth Walker, Anthony Richardson, Geno Smith, you name it. John Michael Schmitz deserves to go a hell of a lot earlier than this. 6-year senior, so he's ready to come in day one and lay the wood. Can play guard as well, because I trust every center to be able to play guard if you have to. And just a really damn good, consistent player.
All right, now this one, I gotta talk out. New York Giants.
Uh-oh.
I'm going with Jahmyr Gibbs. To me, he was probably one of the best prospects on the board. You really don't want Saquon Barkley, which I imagine he's coming back. You don't want to run that poor guy into the ground. You really don't.
Yeah.
So you get a guy like Gibbs, who is an efficient runner, even better receiving back as well. You just keep adding firepower to that offense. And to be fair, there wasn't really an offensive interior prospect I liked at this pick. So I was like, screw it. Send it. We're getting Gibbs. All right. The Chicago Bears.
Yeah. So I'll actually say this in defense of the Jahmyr Gibbs take. You're pretty much allowing like the Giants to give the middle finger to the Cowboys, who might try to replace Tony Pollard with that running back. So it's just a way of also saying I pretty much reduce the amount that I use Saquon Barkley, but also I don't have to see this guy face me twice a year for the rest of his career.
It's actually a great point. Before Zoom cut me off, I was saying that was a great point. Because I'm not going to try to like mesh that into just one little thing.
Gotta love it. But for the Bears.
Oh, Bears.
I think that another wide receiver is never a bad option. And Kayshon Boutte, even though he has some weird stuff going off the field, it was a high enough draft selection for him to, or a high enough report on where he should be drafted for him to decide not go back or whatever he's deciding to come out after saying he's going to go back. So, Kayshon Boutte has probably some of the best talent in the class. It's just more the personality issues that are the issue.
Yep. And we are back on the correct order after this, by the way.
Let's go.
All right. So the Chargers. I'm going to get that deep threat. People like to put Hyatt in the first round to the Chargers. Like, I personally just I would like him better at this range. And I feel the same thing about Zay Flowers, a guy that tremendous speed. You might worry about his size. That's actually my biggest worry. But like I legit think he could be a Jahan Dotson type. He's got nasty stop-start ability. Just watching his route running, like, oh my gosh. Like it really is filthy. Like this year in particular compared to what it's been in years past. Yeah.
No, he's the reason that I ended up not liking Andrew Booth last year. So, that's saying a lot because Andrew Booth is a very good corner. So I have a lot of respect for Zay Flowers. And just to clarify, this is the Cowboys pick, correct?
Yes, it is.
Well, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Luke Whippler is an outstanding offensive lineman for the amount of hype that he gets. Super consistent. He plays center, but doesn't mean he has to play center. As I said before, I'm perfectly fine with my centers moving to guard. Usually I feel a little bit less comfortable about the opposite of guard to center, but I love that versatility. Again, if injuries happen, you can move to center, and just a super consistent guy.
All right, with the Cincinnati Bengals, I'm taking Zach Harrison. Might not feel like, this isn't a need for us, but like when it comes down to it, it's like, listen, I just want to draft really good players, address your needs in free agency. You got a guy, Zach Harrison, who has tremendous upside to be a really, really good pass rusher. Might not be like great laterally, but I think just in terms of like his explosiveness, his power, actually reminds me a lot of Sam Hubbard. So.
Fair. So this pick was formerly Minnesota's, sent for TJ Hawkinson, and I still want to beef up the interior. Did not get Brian Breezy round one. Therefore, let's get my favorite player, not named Isaiah McGuire, in the class, and Drazon Johnny Newton. He is supposed to declare whether he's coming out or not in how many days? 5 days.
Yes,
so
next Monday
we'll see.
Is the deadline.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. He said he'd go back if they gave him $700,000, but we'll see if they can do that. I think he's absolutely awesome, 6'2", 300 pounds. And the thing is, when he moves in a straight line, he looks like he might be around 4.65, 4.7 speed. Unbelievable athlete.
All right, with the Carolina Panthers, just going to keep addressing everything but quarterback at this point. I'm going to go with Andre Carter. Get you a nice developmental edge rusher to maybe eventually play along the side of Brian Burns. Dude, Andre Carter, he just needs the NFL weight room. Dude's got credible length, credible size, decent burst. So,
I love Andre Carter. Sean Tucker would be an amazing compliment to James Cook. Therefore, I think he'd be a nice addition there for the Bills. A lot of people want to go after guys like Jahmyr Gibbs, but you're pretty much getting the same exact version of the like Nyheim Hines, James Cook role. I want to get somebody who has a little bit more juice and a little bit more oomph to his run. That's going to be Sean Tucker, who's been doing it over there in New York as well.
All right, with the Kansas City Chiefs, they need edge help. Frank Clark, too streaky for my take. Honestly, the guy that fits the size profile for Spagnuolo is Isaiah McGuire. I was like running through it, and I was like, man, all these freaking light edges. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Isaiah McGuire. I think like we're gonna see him at the Senior Bowl, man. It's like the battle in the trenches at the Senior Bowl, top notch.
He's gonna be a first.
I look forward to seeing more.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Isaiah McGuire is my number 2 overall player in the class. Someone who I fall in love with, head over heels. And am I insane? Most likely. But feel free to come to my Discord. We have over 560 people there, so I would love to show you guys the tape because we do live streams like that all the time. So before you start hating, make sure that you watch it. Pick number 63, the Eagles. Lane Johnson has had plethora of injuries, and right tackle, and honestly tackle in general, because they always get injured, is always going to be a position you kind of want to lock up for the long run. I'd rather not have to have a rookie start where Lane Johnson was. So I want to invest early. Blake Freeland should not be at this pick, to be blunt, but he is. And that's just absolutely awesome because he can step in and make a difference from the moment he gets on the field.
All right. So that is our mock draft. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll down to the end real quick so they can see the last bit of picks. Mm-hmm. But how do you feel about this one?
It was fun. It was fun. I like that we threw a Sean Payton trade in there. We threw in that number 1 overall trade because we usually rarely do trades. Now, does it drive me insane that PFF Mock Draft Simulator does not have the same order as other simulators? Sure. But, it adds a little bit of fun while we're recording the video. I think it's perfectly fine.
My gosh, I know, right? If NFL Mock Draft Database, if that simulator just didn't have buggy trade stuff, because I personally love that one a lot. I do. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, show it some love. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Alex, for one final time, will you shout out where you are from?
Yes, Hail Mary Sports. I don't know if you're going to put it in the description or not, but you could just literally type it into the search bar. I'm always there. So Hail Mary Sports, come join the Discord as well. Would love to talk to you guys, both on YouTube and outside.
Well, now you're putting a lot of pressure on me to go do that.
You should do that.
I
don't think it's pretty easy. You just do a simple search. You're going to be fine. Don't go to the description. Just type at the top. It takes as much time as that.
Good, because I have a tendency to forget things.
I know. It's okay.
All right. Okay. Y'all have a good one. Hopefully you enjoyed the national championship. That was yesterday for y'all. Couple of hours for us, yeah. But till next one, you be easy, our friends. Later.